Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Iman Binti. I'm going to talk about the introduction and the research objective of our topics. The introduction of our topic is this study discusses the problem of the influence of K-pop on adolescents' belief today. We also relate this problem to the verses of the Quran that related to the creed and also the prohibition on entertainment. This study was also conducted to find the cause and solution to this problem. The research objective is identify the K-pop culture that has influenced teenagers on Malaysia. Second, review solution to this issue, and the third one is studying the approach of the verses of Quran and the belief of adolescents.
K-pop background. What is the meaning of K-pop? K-pop or Korean pop is a popular music genre that originated in South and North Korea. Most artists and groups of musicians from Korea use this music genre. K-pop contains a mix of hip-hop, electro, pop, rock, and R&B genre. This trend has become a cultural branch among teenagers and adults around the world that arouses interest in style and fashion from Korean singers and music groups. In its development, K-pop has grown into a subculture that is widespread in various parts of the world. Idol groups and solo artists such as IU, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, BTS, and EXO are very famous in Asian countries including Indonesia and even to continental Europe.
Okay, next, Islamic views on K-pop. The law in Islam states there is no wrong interest in K-pop provided you do not make that person your idol. What is clear in this idol term is that the sense of interest is not fanatical so much like the bedrooms, phone wallpaper, clothes, and others full of pictures K-pop artists. And it is common knowledge that there is no fixed law in the Qat'i that says it's illegal to addicted with the artist. It doesn't matter where the artist come from. Even so, interested to see the talent of Korean artists in singing, acting in dramas, and so on is not a mistake, but that is not demanded by Islam and there must be a limit. But if the K-pop makes us neglect even for a moment, living prayers just to finish a drama, imagining that goes beyond the boundaries by associating all things with K-pop that it will approach the illegal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, O people of the book, do not go to extreme in your faith beyond the truth. No, follow the vain desires of those who went astray before you. They misled many and astray from the right way.
Music in Islam and Islamic view on K-pops. Islam is flexibility and pleasant. If music helps to obey Allah, it is considered a good deed. It is the needs and responsibility of Muslims to change this situation. The second Muzakara of Fatwa Malaysia 1981 had made following decision that the songs are well compressed, not absent, not rude, not lead to immorality or insulting Islam. Fatwa of Sheikh Yusuf Qardawi said that each listener must evaluate and determine themselves about the song. They are more aware of the form of singing that are able to stimulate his instinct, tempt him to slander, and forget the spiritual element in him.
Next, I would like to explain about the examples of K-pop cultures which influenced by the teenagers in Malaysia. First, plastic surgery. Some teenagers fans willing to spend their money just to get beauty so much by having a plastic surgery and set aside the Islam law which Islam explicitly forbids this act. This proven through the words of Allah Azza wa Jalla in Surah An-Nisa verse 117, which Allah forbids anyone who change the nature of the events and whatever Allah has said. Secondly, fashion trends. A lot of teenagers are following the trends of K-pop fashions, such as their clothes, hairstyles, and others. Islam emphasizes that people who follow clans other than Islam are already part of that clan or group. as the Prophet of Muhammad SAW said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhu." Sadaqa Rasulullah SAW.
Another example of K-pop culture that influenced teenagers in Malaysia is the influence of drama. Teenagers who love to watch Korean drama or films become a big fan of it and influenced to follow the trend from the characters. Most of Korean drama shown improper scenes like couple and so on. At Malaysia, we can see many Muslim couples without hesitation show their warmth in public. The last point for this part is free association shown in K-pop culture like hugging and touching between males and females. It is haram in Islam. In Malaysia, when Korean artists came to Malaysia, fans who are in Islamic dress without shame, hugging and shaking hands with their artists, although they are different genders. In Holy Quran, Allah said that He is angry with His people who are pleased with the vice they commit. If these matters are not resolved, it is feared that it will eventually shake Muslims' iman.
The effect of K-pop culture influence in the AKIDAH of Muslim teenagers in Malaysia. Besides having a good effect, there are also negative effects when they are too obsessed with K-pop culture. First, influence by causing fashion that is not in accordance with Islamic law. Most fashion trends and styles shown in Korean dramas and music videos, especially by boy and girl bands, are improper and excessively racy. For example, Hyuna, a Korean singer, has been labeled as a sexy icon of South Korea. Her fashion and style as displayed in her music videos are overtly risky. Yet, they are emulated and idolized by her fans and others. This kind of fashion is considered indecent and prohibited in Islam. Islam has underlined the proper forms of clothing for men and women, that one must cover certain parts of their respective human bodies, aura, as mentioned in the Quran in Surah An-Nur, verse 31. There is nothing wrong with displaying fashion in Islam. However, one needs to follow the guidelines of fashion as determined by religion by covering certain parts of the human body in accordance with modesty.
The next effect of K-pop culture influence in the AKIDAH of Muslim teenagers in Malaysia is influenced by behavior that has no boundaries of association between mahrams. The obsession of entertainment has eventually led to the obsession towards celebrities. The idolization of celebrities has negatively impacted Muslim teenagers in Malaysia. As example, in 2015, the Korean pop group, which consists of 5 male performers, performed in Malaysia in front of their friends, who are mostly girls. Then, the group invited a few fans on stage during their show to act out scenes from Korean drama. Some of the fans were Muslim girls wearing headscarf, and these girls were hugged and kissed on the forehead by the group members during the skit. A video of this incident later went viral in Malaysia, prompting the response of the Federal Territories Islamic Religious Department, which is charged with maintaining religious moral standards. Celebrity obsession have resulted in the degradation of moral values and dignity in Muslims and have caused them to put aside Islam. This is seen as a threat to the AKIDAH of Muslim teenagers in Malaysia.
Ways to control the influence of Korean cultures from harming AKIDAH of teenagers. First, we need to try to change the Korean obsession to another thing. In Islam, we are not forbidden to entertain ourselves, but sensible people will understand that every entertainment has its own limits that need to be taken care of and limited. One aspect we have to emphasize is that teenagers do not know the difference between entertaining and obsessed with Korean artists. Some of our young people are not only interested, but to the extent that they defy these K-pop artists in their life. Try to learn to be interested in other benefits such as reading history books, making cake so they can do business, learning Taranum Al-Quran and many more. Okay, second, teenagers need to get closer to Islamic education. Do your best to go to knowledge gathering regardless of talks, seminars or conference. Okay, third, people are very much needed in selecting and filtering Korean culture values. Foreign culture values that are in line with the culture of the nation can be absorbed so that it will be enrich the cultural values of the nation, while the culture that is not good and affect AKIDAH is immediately left, like sexy way of dressing, does not maintain the boundary between mahram and others.
Lastly, conclusion. Discussion impact that can be used as a guide or follow-up action to curb the bad influence of K-pop culture on teenagers' faith in Malaysia. First, religion. Efforts for dakwah, usrah and liqah activities at universities through online can save the fate of Muslims in Malaysia, especially teenagers now. Second country, efforts to increase the entertainment industry in the form of religion such as the Trigger Ummah PU program at Astro Oasis can increase the production of quality young people and pride of Malaysia. Overall, the study has achieved the objectives presented based on research on the debate the influence of K-pop culture on teenagers' fate in Malaysia, which is heavily influenced by the views of nations, should be used as an argument that can be applied in addressing current cultural issues of hedonism. Thank you.